Hello everyone and welcome to this brand new video. Today I'm going to share with you what I learned about the wealthy and what they won't tell you outright. These individuals clearly differ from one another in terms of their personalities, appearance, and other characteristics. But they share traits, characteristics that you tend to repeat. They are known as patterns. These trends are consistently present and have a strong tendency to repeat themselves among wealthy individuals. Before we start, I would like to make sure that you have subscribed to the channel and activated the bell. Since all wealthy individuals are entrepreneurs, they all have their own businesses and hardly ever employ more than a small percentage of people. Rich people typically don't work to get rich. Instead, they work on things they enjoy and that tend to set them free from having to worry about money, time, wages, or salaries. As opposed to what you may think, the entrepreneur is actually a good person. I'd even go so far as to call him a philanthropist because he values and actually helps other people. If they are wealthy, it is because they are business owners, or more often, because they have inherited money that is entirely or mostly the result of entrepreneurial action. Unfortunately, education has conditioned us to view ourselves as employees rather than business owners. In particular, 90% of professors in educational institutions work for pay rather than as their profession. The training system and the educational system suffer severe harm as a result. All around the world, education makes us perfect employees rather than perfect business people. In fact, it is suggested that you never become an entrepreneur. Wealthy people almost universally invest. They don't just sit around playing football and scratch cards. They invest for the long term by diversifying their investments and utilizing compound interest. The fastest way to become wealthy is through concentration, which may be accomplished by starting a firm, which is extremely hazardous, yet where all wealthy people focus all of their capital. Rich people don't just sit around expecting for luck. Instead, they constantly search for opportunities to add value. Rich people tend to acquire goods or assets that allow them to put money in their wallets, and they don't go and buy liabilities. They might even buy a luxury car or a villa with a pool. Rich people buy assets, not liabilities. They value assets and choose to purchase them above liabilities. Another wealth-related secret is that, unlike the poor, who can occasionally spend more, another habit of wealthy individuals is paying themselves first. This idea occurs frequently. In fact, it serves as the central idea of the book The Richest Man in Babylon, which I heartily recommend. I might leave the link in the description below. Let's look at what it means to pay yourself first. If a wealthy individual earns $50,000, they mentally divide the money into percentages as soon as they receive it. The first thing they notice about their investments is a proportion that is either more or less tiny or more or less high, leading them to assume that they should go acquire stocks in this area. They therefore pledge to save the second portion of their earnings, saying, "I will invest $20,000 in stocks and another $20,000 in savings." The final balance will be used to cover expenditures. The sixth and most crucial element is among them. People from different socio-economic backgrounds have different perspectives on mistakes and failures. Due to the fact that children learn a little bit from their parents and a little bit from school in their early years of life, this phenomenon is attributed to both the school model and the home environment. What do we think as a result of school? It makes us believe that making a mistake is bad because you risk being caught and receiving a note. Making mistakes is the best way to learn, not just for the human race, but also for the individual as a whole. If you learn from a mistake or failure and use that knowledge to improve yourself and your situation, then is when it turns positive. The opposite is also true, vice versa. If you make a mistake and don't learn anything from it, the failure becomes a true failure because it is obviously something terrible. The idea that poor people frequently have restricting thoughts, self-destructing all of their efforts, closing their minds, and persuading themselves that they will never succeed is something else that Kiyosaki frequently reiterates. Another interesting fact is that, for the most part, all wealthy people have the same trait. I'm talking about dyslexia. Studies in business and finance found that 87.8% of the rich were dyslexic. It is simple to connect this to your time at school. We can use the dyslexic person's tendency to delegate group work as an example because he is aware of his weaknesses and his inability to complete the task individually. This is a business practice, so he gains excellent delegation skills while maintaining the utmost respect for the dyslexic. The final fact I want to share with you is that wealthy people scale their enterprises in order to grow and become wealthy. An effective team is essential. The goal of the wealthy is to mentally automate certain processes, which is more crucial than simply doing so from a business perspective. This topic will be covered in a future video. If you like this video, please let us know in the comments section below, and we'll see you in the next one.